you've already clicked play. It's too late now. What you're about to hear isn't just a story. It's a warning. There are dark forces out there, lurking in the spaces we least expect. And when you open the door to them, there's no going back. I didn't believe it at first either, and now, well, now it's already too late for me. But maybe it's not too late for you. Listen closely, because the only thing that can save you now is sharing this video and passing it on before it comes for you. I've always been drawn to the weird and the unexplained. Ghost stories, urban legends, cryptid sightings, you name it. If it had the power to send a chill down your spine, I was into it. And that obsession is what led me to start my YouTube channel. It seemed like the perfect outlet for my love of the paranormal. A place where I could collect spooky stories, share them with the world, and, hopefully, build a community of like-minded people. At first, it was slow going. I'd post a video every week, but they'd barely get a couple of views. Some videos on famous hauntings, unsolved mysteries, and creepy folklore. Content I thought would blow up. But the algorithm had other ideas. Still, I kept going. I loved creating these videos, loved the thrill of telling a good ghost story and watching people's reactions. But then came my Halloween special, and that's when everything changed. I spent weeks putting it together. I wanted it to be perfect. 10 terrifying stories, each one more unnerving than the last, woven together into a seamless, hour-long compilation. I mixed eerie sound effects, unsettling music, and carefully chosen visuals to build the atmosphere. It was supposed to be the highlight of my channel. And in a way, it was. The video took off. It got more views than anything I'd ever uploaded before. Thousands of views in just a few days. People were commenting, liking, and sharing. It was exactly what I'd hoped for. But that's also when things started to get weird. It began innocuously enough, with a comment on the video from a user with the name You the Watcher. I remember reading it and thinking it was just someone playing along with the spooky vibe of the video. The comment said, "You've seen it, now it sees you." I replied something lighthearted like, "Haha, creepy, but what's it? You've got me curious." And that was that. I moved on, thinking nothing of it. The next morning, I woke up to a slew of notifications. My video had gotten even more attention overnight. Views were spiking. But the comments, they were unsettling. At least a dozen users had commented something disturbingly similar to You the Watcher. It's watching you. You've called it. You can't escape now. Every time I refreshed the page, more comments appeared. Different usernames, all with the same eerie warnings. It's watching you. It's coming for you. It didn't feel like the usual fan interaction. There was something off about the tone, the repetition. But I figured it was some kind of elaborate prank. Maybe a group of users had decided to band together and mess with me. The bigger my channel grew, the more likely that kind of thing would happen, right? So, I shrugged it off. Then the email started. 2 days after the video went up, I got an email sent to my channel's inbox. The subject line read, "You've seen it." It was from an address I didn't recognize, but that wasn't unusual. I get random emails all the time from people submitting story ideas or asking questions about videos. But this email wasn't like that. It wasn't a fan letter or a request. It was short, just a few words. It knows you now. I stared at the email for a long time, my stomach sinking. The wording was exactly like the comments I'd been seeing, but somehow more personal. Like whoever or whatever had sent it was watching me. Still, I told myself it was just some overzealous fan playing a prank. I didn't respond. I deleted the email and went back to work, trying to put it out of my mind. That night, as I sat editing my next video, I heard it. The tapping. It was faint at first, just a soft, repetitive sound. Tap, tap, tap. At first, I thought it was something outside, maybe a branch brushing against the window. But when I looked outside, there was nothing there. The street was quiet, and the trees outside my house were still. Then, the tapping grew louder. Tap, tap, tap. It was coming from inside the house now. I froze, the hair on the back of my neck standing up. Slowly, I turned toward the source of the sound, and there, in the corner of my office, I saw it. A figure, shadowy and indistinct, standing just beyond the reach of the light from my monitor. It wasn't moving, it wasn't making a sound, but it was watching me. My heart pounded in my chest as I stared at it, my fingers frozen over the keyboard. I didn't blink, I didn't move. And then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the figure was gone. The room was empty again, save for me. The tapping became a nightly occurrence. Every time I sat down at my desk, it would start. Always in the same pattern, always coming from the same corner of the room. Tap, tap, tap. Sometimes it was faint, like the first time, but other nights it was loud and insistent, like someone knocking on the wall just inches from my head. And always, when I looked, the figure was there, watching. The comments on the video kept pouring in too. By now, hundreds of them had piled up, all echoing the same cryptic messages. It's watching you. It's coming for you. You've called it and now it's here. I tried deleting the video. I thought maybe if I took it down, whatever I had invited into my life would leave. But every time I clicked the delete button, my computer froze, and then the lights would flicker, plunging the room into darkness. And when the power came back on, the figure would be standing there, waiting. No matter what I did, I couldn't escape it. I stopped working at my desk after a while, choosing instead to edit my videos from the safety of the couch in the living room. But even there, the tapping followed me. And so did the figure. Every night it would appear standing just out of the light's reach, watching me with its hollow, unseen eyes. I didn't tell anyone. Who would believe me? My channel was dedicated to telling ghost stories after all. If I told people I was being haunted, they'd just think I was making it up for attention. I tried convincing myself it wasn't real, that it was just my overactive imagination getting the better of me. But deep down, I knew the truth. It was real, and it wasn't just me. A week after the video went up, I started getting messages from subscribers. At first, it was just a trickle, people saying they'd noticed strange things happening after watching the video. One user told me they'd heard tapping sounds in their house, exactly like the ones I'd described. Another said they'd seen a shadowy figure standing at the foot of their bed in the middle of the night. At first, I thought they were just playing along, like they'd done with the comments. But the more messages I received, the more I realized this was no prank. Something was happening to them too. The reports started piling up. People from all over the world were experiencing the same thing. Tapping sounds, shadowy figures, a sense of being watched. And they all had one thing in common. They'd watched my Halloween special. The weight of it began to crush me. It wasn't just me that was being haunted. I had unleashed something, and now it was spreading. Every new view was like an invitation, opening the door wider for whatever it was that had attached itself to the video. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't focus. The tapping followed me everywhere. At work, at the grocery store, even when I was out in the middle of the day. I could feel it watching me, always lurking just beyond the edge of my vision. The figure appeared more frequently now, not just in the corner of my office, but in my bedroom, in the hallway, sometimes even standing in the doorway, blocking my path. My channel was growing. More and more people were watching the video, and with every new view, the haunting intensified. It was as if the figure was feeding off the attention, growing stronger with every click, every comment, every share. But then I noticed something else, a pattern in the comments, a clue buried in the words people were leaving on the video. You've seen it. Now it sees you. Pass it on or you're next. It was a warning, and maybe, just maybe, a way out. I knew what I had to do. If deleting the video wouldn't stop it, maybe there was another way. Maybe if I could get enough people to share it, to pass it on, it would lose interest in me. It would move on to someone else. I know that sounds horrible, selfish even, but by then, I was desperate. The figure was always there, lurking in the shadows, watching me. The tapping was relentless, driving me to the edge of insanity. I had to do something, anything. So, I doubled down on the video. I pushed it hard, posting it on every social media platform I could think of, encouraging people to share it, to spread the word. I told myself it was just a marketing strategy, that I was trying to grow my channel. But deep down, I knew the truth. I was trying to save myself. The tapping hasn't stopped. The figure is still here watching me, even as I record this final message. But it hasn't gotten any closer, not yet. So now I'm passing it on to you. You've seen it. By watching this video, you've opened the door, just like I did. It's watching you now. Maybe you can't feel it yet. Maybe you haven't heard the tapping or seen the figure standing in the corner. But you will, and when you do, it'll be too late. There's only one thing you can do to save yourself. You have to subscribe to this channel. You have to share this video. Pass it on to someone else before it comes for you. That's the only way to keep it at bay, to buy yourself a little more time. If enough people see it, maybe, just maybe, you can escape. I wish I could tell you that subscribing and sharing the video will make all of this go away. But I can't. All I know is that it's the only thing that's kept me alive this long. I don't know how much time I have left, but if you're hearing this, it means I've managed to hold it off for a little while longer. So go ahead, click that subscribe button. Share this video with as many people as you can, because once you've seen it, it's already too late.